What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video, diving back into the Psychic Cup with a team that I just wanted to hard stop Malamar and double Galarian Slow King teams, right? You guys have seen that team everywhere. This is a hard counter to it, and I'm done. I'm done seeing that combination. So here we go. Shadow Gardevoir, Bronzong, and Claydol. I did put Scorching Sands on Claydol, as I think it is better than Earth Power. I did have to use a lot of TMs, so be wary there. And my Shadow Gardevoir, I don't want to spend the Stardust to unlock a second charge move to get triple Axle when the real damage and the gameplay that you have here in the Psychic Cup is just Charm anyways. You guys can do it if you have excess, but I decided not to, and it went just fine. Alright, getting into the first battle here, we have Gardevoir on the lead versus Rapidash. Now, we have to see how they decide to play this, but Charm is a good answer to everything that doesn't resist it. And in this case, we should be able to take out the Rapidash based on the health, right? It is now in the yellow. I should be able to take them out before they get to another Body Slam, and they decided to swap into Bronzong, which allows me to freely come in here with Claydol. Now, Bronzong does have access to Payback. We have to watch out for that, so I will respect and give up the second shield, and it is the Payback. So this is kind of a tough situation, right? We're down 2 shields, but we have switch alignment and a lot of energy, and that can do very well for you. Now we see the Rapidash decide to come in. So now, because of Claydol's ability to farm down a lot of Pokemon in the mid game, you can have back-to-back charge moves, and they decided to let that go through, which allows me now to throw another one here against Malamar. Now, Malamar is the target for Gardevoir, and like I said at the beginning, I've seen a lot of teams where it's Malamar plus Galarian Slowbro and Slow King, or one of those plus something else, right? So we go down, that's fine. We're going to come in with Gardevoir, and then we're going to look to catch the charge move on Bronzong. So I'm going to go ahead and swap right here, because that was when they were going to be throwing the foul play based on energy gain that they did have. And now this puts them in a tough situation because they won't be able to build up to back-to-back charge moves. So this is going to be a good game, very well played, as they are forced now to throw a second one. And I can go ahead and come in with Shadow Gardevoir and one tap down. That is going to be a good game, very well played. Alright, moving into the next one, we have Gardevoir on the lead versus Rapidash once again. This matchup is IV dependent. I'm telling you guys, it's IV dependent because you'll have to see how much damage your Charm does by the time they get to the charge move. And in this case, I don't know if I'm going to be able to take them out. So I decide to no shield to not risk the takeout, but we do get it anyways. Beautiful. So that was perfect. And now they come in with Victini, so I'm going to go ahead and come in with Claydol, and they bring in a Malamar. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, hold on, you just gave up your hardest counter, and yes, I did, but you can't sleep on the Freedom Bell over there, Bronzong. And we should be able to start forcing shield advantage for ourselves. Remember, Bronzong does have access to the dark type move Feint Attack, which will do super effective damage against Victini. So they're going to go ahead and throw another foul play. Totally fine with this. Let it go through. I need shields for Bronzong in order to win this game. Now, Gardevoir has to come in and put pressure down right away. Malamar is extremely weak to Charm, and if I can force their energy, but they decide to not throw, I don't know if they might have not have had enough, but that is looking to be okay, because now the Victini needs to get to 3 V creates in time. And you're probably looking at this going, hold on. But the Feint Attack is not doing enough, which you're right, but with the debuff that they are getting, I can safely double shield here and farm down. Now, they do get to another one in time, but I snuck through that charge move, obviously, because that's how this game works. V-Create, we survive with 1 HP in a dream. That was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be, but good game right there. All right, we got Gardevoir now versus Victini here on the lead. Obviously, very tough situation for us. In this situation, I will go into Bronzong because Claydol is the harder answer. And what we can look to do here is we know we survive a V-Create. We have seen that. But I am concerned about what they could potentially have in the back, and I want to try to take this deeper into the fight because if they decide if I let it go and they decide to swap out and farm down, I could be in a bad situation. So now we're going to let the second one go through. That's not enough to take us out, but it is enough for us to throw the charge move. Now, I did have enough energy there for payback, but I didn't think I did. So I just threw the heavy slam, which either way is fine. And now they are extremely low, and I don't know if they have another V-Create, but they decide to swap out right away into Rapidash. So we're going to have to be very careful in this game, as that Victini does have energy. So we're going to go ahead and look to no shield. It is going to be a body slam. And then we're going to try to go for a Scorching Sands, but they get to another body slam in time. So we have a unique opportunity here where we can safely let this go, swap into Gardevoir now because we can charm down before they get to another body slam. And now that Victini is within range to get farmed down, right? It was in the red, like 2 or 3 charms takes it out, and that's not enough to go for 2 V-Creates. So they instead decide to come in with Shadow Lugia here. We're going to go ahead and shield the Sky Attack and then look to farm down. And then we should be able to take out the Victini. If they go for the, yeah, it's 3 charms. They needed back-to-back V-Creates anyways in order to win, which they weren't going to get. So good game. All right, Gardevoir versus Hypno now in the lead. So this team, obviously, as you guys are noticing, is very fast move based. Most teams that I used are charge move based, but I did have a lot of fun with this team regardless. And there are games where my opponent has shields remaining just because I didn't throw enough charge moves and I was able to take them out. So I'm going to go ahead and shield, and it is a Fire Punch right there. So now they're going to be able to get to another one, which allows me to freely swap into Claydol. And the reason why I did this is I was concerned about a Malamar in the back. So we're going to keep that Gardevoir alive, and they swap in a Slowbro. And this is now a red flag. If this is their best answer to a Claydol, then Claydol is going to be having a good time. Now, granted, Surfs do a lot of damage, right? 2 Surfs is going to be enough to take out a Claydol. And even though Poison Jabs are resisted, they still do damage, unlike the main series game. So they should be able to get to another Surf, but the Scorching Sands got the attack drop right there, which means I survive this Surf easily, which is huge. And now we get to see what Pokemon they had in the back, and it was actually a Shadow Gardevoir. So what they were probably hoping to do is sweep with Shadow Gardevoir and shields, which is not going to happen because I have a Bronzong, and that is going to be a good game, very well played. Again, Bronzong has the great moveset and typing to do very well, not only against the Galarian Slowbros and whatnot, but against the Gardevoirs as well. Alright, we have the Slow King here on the lead. We're going to go ahead and swap out right away into Claydol to get ahead on energy, and they're going to decide to stay in. Now, Slow King is one that you have to be careful for because it does have access to Shadow Ball. So I'm going to go ahead and let this go. It is just a Surf, but it has Surf and Shadow Ball, both of which are super effective here against Claydol. Now, they're going to be able to get to another one, but I believe I CMP tied right there. I may have not, but I'm going to go ahead and shield. And yeah, we do get the Scorching Sands in time, which is perfect because this is going to be forcing a shield, but they decide to let it go. And I'm like, all right, Slow King's out of the way. Let's see what else they have in the back. It's going to be a Slowbro. And I'm thinking to myself, there's no way this whole team is extremely weak to Claydol. And sometimes you guys will have that. I had it in my last sets that I did. With my other team with Victini. So in this case, Bronzong can easily come in, and they have a Rapidash in the back. So I'm going to go ahead and come in with the Gardevoir and just make quick work of it with Charm. So this is going to be a good game, right? The Slowbro will not be able to do enough damage in order to take out Bronzong. Rapidash here, I don't care. If it gets double body slam, takes out Gardevoir, fine. Totally fine, because I don't want to get farmed down by Slowbro anyways. We're just going to come in with Bronzong, and they decide to surrender. Again, they had 2 shields there. 2 shields! And we were able to come through that. I know they did surrender, but it would have been a good game either way when you math it out. Alright, we got Gardevoir here versus Shadow Gardevoir. Alright, this is always dangerous. This is always dangerous. So we got to see what they decide to do. And they're going to go ahead and swap out into Raichu. So they switch lock themselves, which allows me to come in with Claydol right here and farm down. Now, I do need to watch out for Grass Knot. This is a charge move on a Alolan Raichu, and obviously in this meta, it would make sense to run it. So I'm going to go ahead and shield. So now, Raichu is gone. Gardevoir is gone. It's got 1 health left, 1 fast move to take it down. So we have to see what their final Pokemon is. and it's going to be a Rapidash. So that's going to be a good game. Bronzong is going to be taken. This is what I found with this team, is a lot of the times there are teams that are just so weak to a certain fast move, whether it's Charm or it's Mud Slap, that they can't really recover from it. And the only way they recover is if they have 3 Pokemon that have very spammy charge moves to be able to take you out, kind of like with teams that I've run before. But we're going to go ahead and go for the Scorching Sands here, and they do decide to shield. I'm going to counter swap now into Bronzong to close this game out, as we can safely decide to let this go. It is going to be a Body Slam. I do need to watch out for high horsepower potentially, so I will give up a shield on this second one, just in case, but it is going to be Mega Horn instead, which is fine. We're going to go ahead and go for a Heavy Slam here, and that is going to be a good game. Very well played. Now, high horsepower and Mega Horn don't one-shot from that health range. It gets me pretty low, so I think we would have won that regardless. So, good game, very well played. All right, moving to the next one. We have Gardevoir versus Bronzong on the lead. So this is obviously a very tough one to come back from, but we're going to look to do it. So we're going to go ahead and go into the mirror. And then they do decide to swap in a Delphox, which is extremely spicy and cool, because it's not too common to see this Pokemon ever, and this is a meta that it can shine in. So we're going to go ahead and let it go through, and it is going to be Mystical Fire. Now, that unfortunately was enough to KO. I was hoping it wasn't, and I could get away with that 2-to-1 shield advantage that we could potentially get, but now I got to shield this next Mystical Fire, because I need health on Claydol in order to win, and they do have a Gardevoir in the back. So this is now still going to be a tough one to come back from, because remember, there is still the Bronzong, but we do get a shield with Scorching Sand, and now it's going to be a matter of if I can swap in time. I'm going to go ahead and bank a charge move here and swap into Gardevoir, and then try to farm down, but they swap out as well, which tells me they might have Shadow Ball, which is going to be devastating, but this is my only win con now. I need to shield this charge move, go for a Shadow Ball here, and then hope, which I do survive, this is perfect, and hope that I can fast move down Gardevoir and that they don't have a Shadow Ball loaded or a Triple Axle. So I go ahead and go for Scorching Sands right away, again, because I banked it. This is going to be taking out the Bronzong, and then one fast move, please. Nope, they have the charge move ready to go, so that's going to be a good game. Very well played. Well done by my opponent there to store the energy and swap back out. So really, really good back and forth right there. Almost able to overcome. All right, moving to the next one. We got Gardevoir versus Rapidash here on the lead. Okay, again, it's a judgment call based on the damage that we're doing to see if we can survive the double body slams. And this one, look at the health. Last time it was yellow, this time it's green. That means they're going to be getting to the second charge move before I can take them down. And you guys are going to see why. Look at this. 1 HP in a dream. And that just goes to show that noticing the yellow and the green is huge. It is absolutely huge. So we're going to go ahead and come in with Claydol and farm down. I think energy is better on Claydol than Bronzong. They do bring in a Gardevoir, so I'm going to go ahead and swap into Bronzong, and we draw out a Claydol. So this is still looking okay for us. Reason being is we can put a lot of pressure still with fast moves in this game, and Mud Slap versus Gardevoir is still a pretty good matchup. So we do get a shield right there with Heavy Slam. They're just probably going to commit to the full farm down, but they decide to throw instead before I can get to another Heavy Slam. So I'm going to go ahead and shield and take this into the 1-0, as I will be able to get to this Heavy Slam in time. Now, this is their potential win con, is no shielding this, right? So now it's going to be a fast move dance here, but I was able to get so many extra fast moves there with Bronzong that, as you guys can see, the pacing, Mud Slap to Charm, I'm going to be winning this. Even with Triple Axle to boost the attack, Mud Slap is just going to outpace at this point. So that is going to be a good game, very well played. All right. Moving into the next one, we have Gardevoir on the lead versus Malamar. All right, here we go. Let's see what they got. They're going to go ahead and swap in the Slow King. This is exactly why I built this team. Claydol can take this mid-game matchup pretty well. Obviously, you got to watch out for the Shadow Ball and Surf, but we do successfully shield the Shadow Ball. So we're going to go ahead and look to go for Scorching Sands now before they can get to a Surf. because I do want to put that mid-game pressure on, because maintaining switch advantage is the most important thing in this matchup, especially if they have the Slowbro in the back, right? So we're going to go ahead and shield the next Shadow Ball. We maintain switch advantage, which is really good, and I don't get to the Scorching Sands in time, unfortunately, so we will go down. But now we have to see what they have in the back. Foul Play is not enough to take us down, which allows me to get this Scorching Sands off, which is perfect. I need this chip damage desperately. And then we're going to go ahead and see that they actually swap into Victini. Uh-oh. All right. Bronzong, you're my only hope. Get in there. V creates, we know it can survive 1, but it's going to be a matter of if it can survive 2. So I'm going to, or it can't survive 2. We know it can survive 1. It's going to be a matter of if I can get to the payback before they get to 2, and I do get to the payback in time. So Bronzong coming in absolutely clutch here in the 0 shields. Boom! Taking it out. And then Gardevoir is just going to make quick work here of Malamar, as we will be able to charm down. Foul Play is neutral damage, but we can survive. And that is going to be a good game, very well played. This is what this team was built for, and that was a worst case scenario, right? A Victini in the back. Where a best case scenario is it's going to be the Galarian Slowbro. All right, we got the Chompy Fish here on the lead, and they do decide to swap out into a Slowbro with Water Gun. So we're going to go ahead and get it to about 50% HP and then swap into Bronzong here to catch the charge move, because we need our Gardevoir for Chompy Fish there on the lead. And Bronzong in this situation can take this into the 1-2. I'm going to have to shield the next Surf here, but we should be able to farm down and then have a payback ready to go on the back end. And this is what's beautiful about the Bronzong and Claydol farm downs in the mid game, is you get shields on the back end, which just evens up the playing field while maintaining switch advantage, obviously. So very huge for us. They decide to bring in Chompy Fish, so we're going to go ahead and go for the payback. My goodness, watch your earbuds. Let's go. Boom! One shots the Chompy Fish there, and they bring in Gardevoir. And this is going to be a good game. They wanted to save Gardevoir, thinking that they could. Bronzong was my only counter. And granted, they are right hard counter, but Claydol wins with Mud Slap anyways. So that's going to be a good game. Very well played. This team was a ton of fun to use. Had an absolute blast, and let's go ahead and move into the next one. We have Gardevoir versus Rapidash here on the lead. So again, let's see what they decide to do. They swap into Metagross this time. Very interesting. I'm going to go ahead and come in with the Claydol and just commit to the hard farm down. Give up that 1 shield, because we know we will be getting it on the back end. Just because it was a Psychic, actually, not even a Meteor Mash. But we will be able to farm down. If that was Meteor Mash, obviously we shield. We shield no matter what there on the swap in scenario. So now we go ahead and go for Scorching Sands here. They decide to no shield on the Rapidash, which is a huge call for them, because Body Slam is not enough to take me out now, and I should be able to farm down. And if I do, it's a wrap. And we do farm down, and now this is bad news bears for them. They have a Chompy Fish in the back, which Gardevoir can easily take here with the Charm. So we're going to go ahead and swap back in. And that's going to be a good game. As you guys can see, Charm outpaces Bite in this scenario, and there's nothing they can do. So good game, very well played. But again, Claydol mid games on a hard farm down is so clutch, and it's why I love this team on this rotation, because it handled the meta teams that I was seeing. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and like always, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.